there wasn't really like a fire that needed to be lit or anything. It was
Okay.
mainly um, going into that fight on the day of the fight. I just didn't want to be there. I wanted to get out. I
Hmm.
wanted to get home. 17 days of kind of just waiting around and kind of I didn't care about my opponent. I didn't care about the fight. I was even in the fight thinking like, man, this guy can't do anything to me and I'm not even fighting back.
Mm.
And I mean, there was a lot of people close to me. They're like, was everything all right? What's the, you know, what happened in there? Cause you didn't look like the Lance
Yeah.
Palmer that
Oh yeah.
always goes out there.
Yep.
And I knew that, and there was no excuse of anything that happened. It was just, I really just didn't want to be in the cage. And, it was a weird thing because it wasn't like I don't want to fight anymore. It was
Mm.
just on that night I just wasn't there. I wasn't present. I was
Mm.
in the fight, but it was almost like I was watching somebody else
Mm.
fight. So it was it's a weird thing, and it's kind of hard to explain unless you ever had that. And I have a couple buddies who played football at the college level and higher level in the NFL and stuff, and they said the same thing. They're like, man, there were games where I felt like my feet were in the mud and everybody was just running past me the whole game, and I felt like I was there, but I was watching it on TV type deal.
Mm.
And that's exactly how I felt in that fight. I didn't really have an excuse of, I mean, my camp was great. My weight cut was great. I felt great. Even my morning shakeout was great. But, by the time I got back to the warm up room and was getting ready to go, I was like, man, I can't wait to go home and see the baby, see my wife, sleep in
Mm.
my own bed.
Yeah.
It was more of just kind of being over the situation. I was over it before the fight even happened. And the only way to get out of the quarantine was to fight.
Yeah.
And that was kind of how I looked at it. And, I didn't think that way the entire quarantine. I wasn't happy with quarantining, but I was excited to fight. I was excited to go out there and beat a guy who was talking a lot of trash. But sometimes it just doesn't go that way. Sometimes you're not you're not there. Like I've had fights where I didn't feel my best, but I would still go out and be able to fight hard.
Yeah.
And this fight, I just didn't really care either way what happened. I was just ready to go home and